that governs all the events of your life. Get in it. Like the brother said, I mean, look, I feel like I must say this. I too. I mean, everybody gonna be embarrassed they say it. I too was incarcerated. So let me go ahead and say, I too found the prophet in the dismal crypts. Islam. And see, I wasn't like Jones, but I didn't spend all of my childhood. I spent all of my childhood avoiding the police until I became an adult, right, at the age of somewhere in my 20s. Then I ended up getting incarcerated, like I said. But I didn't stay. I didn't like y'all. I was only in there for 2 years. I was facing 40. But because of DC's incompetence, I ended up serving 2. And it didn't take, see, me, I'm a different type of person. Like I said, now in the cipher, we going over Buddha. And one of the young men asked a question. He said, why is Buddha talked about a lot in the Quran? And we're going over Buddha in the Wednesday night cipher because the prophet said we are to honor all true and divine prophets. Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius. How else are you going to honor them if you don't study their teachings? Honoring the prophets is more than just getting up here on the podium and saying, I give honor to Buddha. But okay, what you know about Buddha that you will give honor to? Right. If you don't know anything about him, that's not honor, that's fake honor. Right? That's a platitude. You're just going through the motions because someone told you to give honor. You got to get inside their teachings and find out why you give honor to these people. You understand what I'm saying? Right. Get inside the teachings and find out why you give honor to Muhammad. Just don't say, I give honor, and you don't know no reason why. You got to be real about this. Be real in your life. The first thing he taught us was to be ourselves because apparently we was being somebody else. That's the first thing that he taught us was to be ourselves. Right? Who are we being? Oh, I tell you who we being. We were being black people. Right? And if you got a fez on your head and you still carrying on them characteristics, then you might as well take that fez off your head. You know why? Because if you still acting like a Negro or a black person and you got this on your head, you just a monkey with a fez on. That's all you are. You might as well get yourself one of them little drums like the Shriners used to do, right? You might as well get out of one of them little small clown cars, and that's what you are. You are a minstrel show. That's what you are. You are a minstrel show. You need to take that black face off.
Yes.
That's how I feel about it. If you calling yourself black, you are a minstrel show. That's what you are because you ain't black. Your skin ain't black. So if you calling yourself black, you're painting yourself black. You are a minstrel show.
Yes. Yes.
And they created it. They created the show. And we still living it out today. The characteristics. You get in here, and for those most who just come on, what I'm gonna say to you. Now I know the brother just come home. Well, come in here and take your place. And do this. Come in, let's do this. You understand what I'm saying? Because most of us been in there. It ain't not, and we get you see how they come in here? We get 1,000 a year that come in like the Moors said. They was gonna put a halfway house right there with that big Black Lives Matter, but they decided not to do that. But we wasn't like, ooh, they put a, we was like, okay. Because we knew the mindset that was going to walk through that door. Right. See, one thing we didn't have when we was in prison, we didn't have children. Right. When we was in the temple, sis, we didn't have children. And the other things, we didn't have sisters. Right. It was a bunch of brothers. Right? No, I was a grand sheik in prison. What does that mean? People come in, I was a grand sheik in prison. Okay, I was a grand sheik in prison too. I mean, all you gotta do is wait your time. Sooner or later, you're gonna be tagged in. It ain't no great feat. Sooner or later, if you the last more, you got to be the grand sheik. And that's how when I was in Lorton, I became the champion. They was moving everybody across the country. They was shutting Lorton down. I was brand new in the Moorish to America. Next thing you know, they tap on the shoulder and say, "You the chairman." Boy, I was only in there for a hot couple of months. Prior to that, I never spoke. It was so many Moors in Lorton, I never spoke. The first time me being the chairman, I spoke. That's when I knew I had a voice. Up until that, I didn't know I had a voice at that time. But it was so easy in there. Brother didn't like when I said that a couple of weeks ago. I'm gonna stand on it. It was so easy in there. Because we didn't have relationship problems. Right. Well, if you do, then you know. But we didn't have relationship problems up in there. We didn't have, check this out, we didn't have economical problems. Economic problems up in there. Right? What you gonna do with money? Right? They know that money's unnecessary. That's why they give you so little of it when you up in that thing. Right. You sitting there working more on grass, they pay you 2 cents a day. Right. Like your stomach out like that and the flies coming in, 2 cents a day. I'm exaggerating, but it was around that amount. Because they knew they provided everything for you. All you had to do was make your meetings. All you had to do is set the people's souls on fire who came in it. But what I learned on the street, it's a lot harder. Because nobody forces you or to go to the temple when you're on the street. It's so many distractions out there. It's so many things you could be doing. Y'all know. Friday night. I mean, we can go through the list of women, of food, drugs, alcohol, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to do. There's so many distractions. TV. Some people just prefer to watch TV than to come here and hear this lesson. Right. They prefer to watch TV. What could you be doing better than right now? I wait. You can't name one thing that you should be doing. What? Work? That's not better than this.
Right.
Islam? I turned down jobs when I first came home because they told me I couldn't make my meetings on Friday. You ain't gonna tell me. I know that Allah gonna look after me, and He did.
Right.
Even when I owned my own business, I turned down contracts that was lucrative because why? I said, man, if I take this contract, it's gonna take me away from the temple. I'll hold off for that. Right. Just more bear witness of that in the back. And I say that to be an example. Right? That's why Allah sent me through there. Just so when you stand up here, nobody can say you got an excuse. You didn't do it.
Right.
Right? When I was in there, y'all already know. GED. I went in there with a 9th grade education.
That's right.
I had to force them peoples when I was down Lorton to give me my GED. I had to beg them people. They was like, what you, I mean, that's not your requirement. Why you want it? They asked me, why did I want it? Because they didn't have no requirements on me when I was in there. I didn't have to take no classes, nothing like that. Only anger management, because my thing was guns. So anybody who had a gun charge, you had to automatically take anger management. So I had to take anger management. That's it. They said, well, you don't have to get your GED. Why? Because I just want it, man. See, that's what I said with the corruption of DC. I was on trial for 2 years. I changed my life around before I went in. I was always smart like that. And so I'd already seen a better way. So when I went in, I said, okay, if the government gonna pay for my 3 hots in the cot, then I'm gonna get as many programs I possibly can in there. So when I went in there, and then when I was down DC jail, dudes was crying when that bus came up to go to Lorton. I never thought I would see that. I'm in DC jail, sitting there, the bus coming up, they crying because they don't want to go to Lorton. I was the only one like, when the bus coming, when the bus coming, when the bus coming. You know why? It was because I wanted to learn something. I said, I planned this all out of my mind. Right? I'm going to do like Malcolm X did.
Educate.
I'm going to educate myself.
Yeah.
And that lady going to ask me, why would you want that? So I went in, I didn't even think about Mr. Maker when I was in there. My time was too short. I said, since He blessed me with that, I'm going to come back out and I'm going to do what I have to do. I'm a type of person, because I'm a Taurus. Yeah, we could be stubborn, but at the same time, we could be determined.
Yeah.
Right? If I ain't doing it no more, I remember at the correction office, I used to work in the kitchen. They shipped me to the Federal, so I was working in the kitchen. And that CO looked at me in my face and he said, I've been doing this many years. He said, you ain't coming back. And I said, how you know? He said, I just know you ain't coming back. I said, thank you, because I don't plan on to. Right? Some people need, the fool is always starting over, always starting over, always start. This is the message for the people that just came home, right? If you see, don't be hubris. Don't be vain. You had to look at me vain. Don't be vain. Because Satan is slick. It will make you think that you got it when you don't got it. And it's waiting in the wings to get you when you slip it. The smarter you get, the smarter your lower self gets. It's going to create an illusion that you got this thing. No, you don't. You don't need a support system. Yes, you do. Everybody needs a support system. Right? Now that, and the other brothers, I think he's older, now that you're home, the question is, it's not about this. How can you become a productive member of society? That's all of us. How can we become a productive member of society because they purposely took us out of society? They separated us from our families purposely. They did that to us. To stagnate us. Right? That's the black condition. Black is not a nation. Black is not a state. Black is none of those things. Right? Black is not even a people. Black is a condition. They don't even know that being black is a condition of the mind. It's the same condition that made somebody right there in broad daylight shoot somebody 50 times. Right across the street before we got here. 50 times. You can fake out there if you want to. I've seen so many people, and that's why this is coming from the heart. I've seen so many people walk through that door and they get shot because they sleep on DC. Because of all the gentrification. But it's still those elements there, even though they putting these high rises up and whatever, the mentality is still there. And I see people come in and whatever, and they get shot. How many times we seen that? That walk up in here. That just come home. You don't have to be doing nothing. All you got to do is be in the wrong place in the wrong time. In the wrong place, oh yeah, I'm going to ride down Subway. Oh, that's my man. I ain't seen him in a long time. He don't know I came home. Let me go over there and holler at him. Right there where they shot the brother 50 times. Now, if it takes 50 times to kill somebody, you can't shoot. And I guarantee you all 50 of them rounds did not go into that body. So if somebody, them youngest now, boy, they got, because see, the rappers is hyping it up. They trying to see who got the biggest gun that sprayed the most. So they out there with military grade weapons. And when I was coming up, right, it was, in your neighborhood, everybody had guns, but it was few that had the really military grade weapons that was in your neighborhood. You had that, you was respected. Only few. Now the youngest, everybody got them now because they're so accessible. So now they spraying up whole entire blocks. Everybody can't shoot. So if you out there, let me holler at my man who stayed on the subway because he don't know I just came home. You would think ain't nothing wrong with being out on Minnesota Avenue in broad daylight, standing by Subway. Yes, it is.
That's right.
Yes, it is. See, I wasn't out there the first time. Well, I wasn't out there. You know why? Because I was at home preparing for this meeting. Y'all know we got a ritual on Friday.
That's right.
That's why we say Happy Holy Day. To remind you that you're supposed to be happy. You're not supposed to be sad. You're supposed to be happy. It's a choice. If you're not happy, you're not choosing to be happy. Right. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. Never say this. If you ain't happy, then don't clap your hands. That's right. And if you ain't happy, then don't stomp your feet. Y'all know how I be doing. I'm going to say, if you're happy, you know it, clap your hands. I ain't going to take no pole out there. But if you didn't clap your hands, we all know you mad. if we can't clap together, how we gonna do anything else together?
That's right.
I mean, something as simple as we all working together as a unit. How we gonna take over Minnesota Avenue because the time is now, it's prepped for now for the real estate, everything else because of what's going on. How we gonna take advantage of it if we ain't moving together like synchronized swimmers? I'm not doing business with nobody who don't got no discipline. I'm not doing business with you.
That's right.
It takes trust.
Yeah.
Good.
We got the march and we got the counter march.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know why the great God Allah told Muhammad to change the prayer direction from Jerusalem to Mecca, right? He told him that, for one, the old temple would have been okay. But he says, no, I want you to turn the prayer direction. And the reason why he wanted to point it towards the house is to see who is faithful and who's not faithful. Because those who are faithful are going to follow you.
Yeah.
They're going to pray. When you say pray this direction, what they're going to do? They're going to pray this direction. And all those who are not, they're not going to pray that direction. They are the Jews. They are the people of the book that's amongst you that really trying to what? Derail you. So while you facing this way, they're going to be faced that way. And it's so automatic. Like when you pray a certain direction all your life, it's automatic. As soon as we say, let's pray, they're going to go what's natural. Everybody turn that way. People of the book. People of the book. That's who you are. Islam. That's a great indication about if we're moving together, just moving together. Discipline. The more, who said it? I think the more said it. Discipline is the key. Islam. Discipline is the key. And I say the same thing. I had the same discipline for my supreme grand sheep.
That's right, grand sheep.
You know why? Because he's the supreme grand sheep.
That's it.
I'm not the supreme grand sheep. He's the supreme grand sheep. Right? I'm just a grand sheep.
That's right.
Stay in my lane. Stay in my lane. The Quran speaks on pretty much stay in your lane. Act is become a thee in that present station.
That's right.
That's in life. Right? I don't want anybody to know me. I won't allow my thoughts to even go past this station. I'm not thinking about that station, this station, whatever. Anybody know me, I'm right here. And they get mad sometimes because I'm right here. Right? This is where I'm at. I'm not going to be discovered. Right? That I'm not qualified. If one day that might come because I'm sitting there thinking about this when I shouldn't be thinking about that. Islam? But what I was thinking about today, was everything that I tried to do. I tried to stay in the moment all day today. And I did a pretty good job for the most part. Until I went to the gym. I went to the gym, but no, that's why I like staying in the house all Friday if I could possibly do that. Because that lower self will take you. I'm not saying your mind is in the gutter, right? But no, it's for real. It's a battle. It's for real. It's a battle. I mean, I'd be lying if I wasn't saying it. Y'all wouldn't even believe me. It's a battle. But I won the battle. Right? I'm like this. Or the treadmill. I'm looking at seeing there. I don't even watch seeing there. I'm looking at old versions of Martin.
Television.
Right? Say you're not gonna get me on holy day. You're not gonna get me on holy day. I'm not an easy mark like that. Islam, they fed something to me. They fed something to me. In 1774, they fed something to me. And y'all know what that is. That demon self. A man's ideal is his God. They gave me an ideal that's called black. Brown Bay, he said it all.
Yes, he did.
Everything you can say about nationality, he said it all in 10 minutes. But I'm going to add one more thing. One more thing, Brother Brown, baby. What I want to add to this is when they created this character called a black person, that was the death of a nation. I want y'all to know that. At the same time, in 1915, they created a movie called what?
Death of a Nation.
The Birth of a Nation. Right? The Birth of a Nation. And at the same time, there was a Death of a Nation. Remember, being black is not a nation. Being black is not a people. Right? Because being black, you can't be a person and be black, because if you are considered a person and also black, then there would have been no need for the 14th or the 15th Amendment. Right? Because those other people didn't need that. They didn't need the 14th or 15th Amendment when it came to them. We just asking, treat us like human beings, like the people in the preamble. That's what we're asking. We don't need no special provision. We don't need to be provincial citizens. Right? We need to be actual citizens.
That's right.
Come on now.
It's not, we don't need voting rights. We need human rights. That's what we need. We don't need nothing for you to sign something in law and then think about it. We don't need all of that. See, that right there is abomination. I'm telling you, the racist Europeans down south had one thing right. They say that's unconstitutional. They believe that the civil rights is an unconstitutional act, and I totally 100% agree with them. Because they know they was only saying that because they wanted to be disqualified. They wasn't saying because they were trying to help us, but they wanted to disqualify the decisions that the federal government was making. Say, that's not constitutional. What you trying to say? Hold on. You can't do that. You can't. See, that's discrimination. That's what they would call reverse discrimination.
Right.
Right? You're giving a sliver of the population favoritism. But you're being a hypocrite. Because if you're saying that they're people, then you don't need all of that. Right? The only thing we need you to do is enforce the law. Enforce the law. Right? That the Constitution uphold. That's all we need. But so-called white people created this character, and now we are living in this character. This character they created. Now on Sundays, we worked through that character on Sunday. Right? On Sundays in chapter 5, we try to dismantle what the Europeans created in 1774. Y'all with me? We trying to take apart what the Europeans put together in 1774. It is their creation. You don't got to accept it. Right? So this being black and white is discrimination. Right? Discrimination is what? You're preferring something over something else. What's so special about races? What's so special about these different races? Inherently, if you believe in race from that perspective, then inherently you believe that your race is better than everybody else's race. That's racism. If you believe, I'm part of the white race. Why are you saying that? Because somewhere inside of you, you believe that the white race is the right race. They're not going to tell you, nobody going to say that. I'm a part of this race. Nah, you're a part of the human race. That's the only competition that we have here in this universe, which is the race to be yourself. That's all it is, right? They put this together, all together, this whole racial scheme that we got here, right? They built that character. They even gave it the script. Check out the minstrel shows, right? They had people, Europeans, painted with black face on, acting like buffoons. Womanizing, going in there, disrespecting women, right? What are we doing right now? What is the black condition? What is the black condition, right? They put that all together during that time period. We wasn't acting like that prior to that.
Right.
Now we walking around like we bad, like we love it, and everybody's scared to death. Everybody in prison scared to death. Come on now, you know, they didn't act like they hard. You ain't hard. Scared to death for real. Why? Because you're insecure.
That's right.
They wonder why my community have a thuggish mentality. We have a thuggish mentality because we're insecure. Right? Our great-great-great-grandparents, man, got whooped, hung. We was afraid of the European. We still afraid of the European. If you don't have confidence around them in any setting, you're afraid of them. And you think that seed come out overnight? You think because you read these teachers that it come out overnight? It does not. It's still in there.
That's right.
And it's gonna take lifetimes to get it out. For some of us, for majority of us, it's gonna take lifetimes to really become a real movement. If you really know, he said, man, like the governor always said, when I first came into the temple, I didn't learn about the closing prayer until we came under the rank of Grand Body, which I'm gonna give honor to this charge. And y'all heard me speak about it at Grandba's birthday banquet. I'm proud because we brought this back to DC.
Yes.
And most people don't know what that entails because they haven't seen the archives.
That's right.
Right? To bring this back to DC is to bring that energy into this city. And that's why you see what's going on right now in this temple. It's because of this energy right here. Giving honor to the charter. To give us the right to promote and practice the teachings of our ancient fathers under the banner of the moorish science to live American Islam. He says, Allah said, in the prayer, he says, bind my heart and mind back to our ancient fathers, divine creed and principles. This we ask in thy holy name and the seven Elohim. Y'all know the prayer. I didn't learn that prayer until I came in because that was the prayer Prophet Noble Drew Ali prayed when he led the prayer. He never said in his own name. That's the one that he used to say in Temple number 1 whenever he was guiding the prayer. He would say, Allah, bind our hearts and minds back to our ancient fathers, divine creed and principles. This we ask in thy holy name and the seven Elohim. Amen. He ain't say through Drew Ali because he was a prophet. He wasn't vain like that. And they say you shouldn't swear. But I tell you, that I feel like I didn't start growing until I started saying that prayer. Now I love the Moorish American prayer, don't get me wrong. That's a great prayer of protection. Right? When you say love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, you are invoking this symbol. So that prayer, even though it's very short, it's a very powerful prayer when you know what you're doing. But that prayer, that closing prayer, is something special. Because it binds your heart and your mind back to your ancient fathers' divine creed and principle. That means that you start thinking like your ancient fathers again. You don't do the things that you used to do as a so-called black person, right? I don't even dress like a black person no more.
That's right.
Right? Like they say in life, they got to tell by the way I walk, I ain't from around here.
That's right, Mo.
Like when you walking down Minnesota Avenue or any other avenue, Good Hope Road, MLK, whatever you want to go, they got to tell that you ain't from around here.
Right.
You want to blend in. I don't want to blend in. I want to stand out. You don't want to blend in. You want to stand out.
Yeah, right.
Let them see what the light is. Right? They got to see a difference between you and them. If your pants sagging and all that, what's the difference between you and them? They got to see that. Doubt must see their God.
Yes.
And that's what you are to them. Don't be ashamed of that, right? You got to believe it in yourself. You got to feel it in your bones. No, I can't see Allah, but what?
Feel them in my bones.
Well, you still can't say even. It's supposed to say, I feel them in my bones. That's how you be saying it. Just like that too, Bo. Just like that. Thank you, Bo. Praise Allah. Let me read something from the Holy Quran before I sit down. Islam. I don't know what I'm going to actually read, so round and round we go. What did he say? Where she stop? Nobody knows. I can't stop on Pinnacle Wisdom. I've been on Pinnacle Wisdom for a minute now. I can read Pinnacle Wisdom again, y'all?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. My time is running out, so let me choose something. I'm on verse 5. Y'all know this is one of my favorite verses. 54. Pinnacle of Wisdom. how do you gain that height? That infinite wisdom. He says, I'm going to go to verse 5. He said, gold cannot buy it for thee. Neither mines of diamonds purchase back the moment. Why can't you purchase back the moment? Right? Because he said, thou hast now lost it. Okay? Now, no matter how many times we hear it, it's still profound that you can't buy back your missing moments. If you're here in the temple right now, be here, don't be no place else.
That's right. Now.
This may be your last moment.
Yeah.
So make it a good one.
Yeah.
Do you know your last thoughts in your mind determine where you go after you die? That's not me. That's our ancient fathers who knew that. Right? So you hear about people having their whole life flash before their eyes before they die, a reviewing, and there's so many people that have actually corroborated that in near-death experiences, they felt that where it's like their life was being played back. You know how you avoid that process? By meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Meditation will avoid that process of at the moment of your death, right? Your soul is going to press rewind, and it's going to show you everything and everybody you have hurt.
Yeah.
Even the foul words that you have said to people that you don't even know it was foul words. Right? The people that right now that y'all not even talking to right now. Somebody out there beefing with somebody. Don't leave this earth beefing with nobody.
That's right.
Do not leave this earth beefing with nobody. It is not worth it. It's too petty and it's too small. Because guess what? You're going to come back and got to do it again. But the universe is going to put you in the worst situation. Y'all think y'all soldiers. I can come back. Y'all think y'all soldiers.
Right.
There's a story and a concept in Buddhism. Because y'all know, is there such thing as hell?
Hell.
Is there such thing as hell?
Hell.
No such thing as heaven? Y'all wrong. We can create it. Yes, there is a such thing as heaven and hell. It's just Allah didn't create it for you.
That's right.
You are creators and you make your own.
Right.
That's what he said. So y'all got it wrong, walking around thinking it ain't gonna be no hell. He didn't say it wasn't gonna be no hell. He just said God didn't make the hell.
Right.
You are creators and you make your own hell. Where you think Jesus went when he was breaking loose the chains of the captive souls?
Right.
Where you think he was at? And why they had chains? They could have been in heaven with chains on.
Right.
Why they got chains on? Why they had to go in there? And guess what? Buddha had to do the same thing. The tormented souls. Your own desires is going to manifest the hell. Right? One of the hells that Buddha described is that he said, can you imagine somebody bringing you back, bringing your life, and then killing you all the time, keep bringing you back to life and killing you by many different ways. Bringing back to life and killing you in many different ways. Right? Based upon your habitual thoughts that you had before you left here. Oh yeah, every single thought you're thinking has to be accounted for. If the universe was created by thoughts, then why do you think you can think things and get away with it? Oh, it must manifest.
Yeah, it's yours.
Right? And I'm gonna say that I said this one time before, one time before, a couple of weeks ago. Y'all know by now, me and Jones Bay from the same neighborhood. He tell me that our neighborhood beefing. Look, for half of a second, I was ready to strap up. Like, what they doing? What's like that? I'm like, man. He said, man, I don't know, man. What's going on? Who did it? Who, whatever. And I'm telling you, I was so, because I was a faithful dude back then. I was so, my blood pressure going up or whatever. Then I said, boy, what you doing? He said, I don't even know. That attachment is what I'm getting at. That attachment was so strong to that stinky little neighborhood that don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing but a bunch of brick and mortars, and so many people done moved in there. We sitting there repping the hood.
Right.
That is so, they gonna bulldoze it in a couple of years. Then where the attachment gonna go at, right? We sitting there that attachment is so strong as so-called black people. That even with all of this knowledge, I found myself concerned.
Wow.
And I want to know who winning? That into my mind. Right? What I'm saying is that attachment now, what's going to happen? If I don't cut that tie, whatever fate them brothers got in the next world, I'm going to meet that same fate.
Yeah.
So if I got such a yearning to be with these type of people, when I manifest again in this life, it's going to put me back around those type of people. Because that's what you hear. If you want to be out there, if you want to be looked at as a hard person, I'm not hard. I don't want to be looked at as hard. I want to be looked at as soft.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm hard enough to say that. I don't want to be look up to like I'm hard, I'm gonna do this or whatever. I ain't gonna do nothing. I got a child, I got a wife. I ain't do too many people depend on me. Dude, we gonna talk it out. I ain't fighting nobody. Nobody. I don't care if you cut me off in traffic. I don't care if I ain't whatever. You know why? Because look at how can I fight somebody looking like this? How we gonna get somebody to come to the temple and I'm acting just like them? Let go of those ways.
That's right.
Stop faking. They wrote the script anyway.
That's right.
You acting like a thug. The Europeans created that. And you sitting there walking around like you whatever because you proud of being black. Oh, we the toughest people on the planet. That's what you think. You think because you black that you supposed to be the toughest people because you went through something, right? Because you went through the hood or the project or because money or all of a sudden lack of money make you hard. Because people are shooting people around you, and because you're in proximity of the shooting, that makes you hard.
Wow.
Oh, I got another one. Because your city kills more black people than any other city, that makes you hard. See, that's the youngest out there. I don't go for nothing. Sometimes you need to go for something.
That's right.
I don't go for nothing. What does that mean you don't go for nothing? You've been going for everything your whole entire life. If you think that you don't go for nothing, you actually going for something, right? They made you think that you don't go for nothing. You accept that. If you don't go for nothing, then go to Georgetown. If you don't go for nothing, go to Wisconsin. You stay marginalized right here on Minnesota Avenue. You driving around in your little hoop, like it's not even what, 3 square miles? You ride up Minnesota 37, turning back around, going back down. You down Bennett Road. The city is bigger than that.
Whole world.
Right? Most people never even been to the Palisades in D.C. before. Never been there before. It took me to become an adult to go, I didn't know Palisades even existed in D.C. I'm looking, look at these UPs up here. I've been in some neighborhoods, don't they look like D.C. I'm like, these people up here. Me and my wife, we be scoping. Look at these up here. You show this D.C. I gotta look at the side to make sure this ain't Northwest up there. Okay, we still in D.C. You know, but yet the so-called Negro, he riding around. You know what I'm saying? Come on, boy. All right, 6, and I'm done. Say not that it were best not to have been born, or if born that it has been best to die early. Neither did thou to ask of thy Creator, where has been the evil had I not existed? Good is thy power, the want of good is evil. And if that question be just, lo, look, it condemneth thee. Where has been the evil had I? That sounds like a miserable wretch. Where has been the evil had I not existed? You know what that means? That means, again, I said it before, you think that all the evil, you're responsible for all the bad that happened in your life. Where has been the evil have I not existed? So when you come into existence in this world, there comes the evil. Evil follows you.
Yeah.
That's what you believe. All the bad luck. I can't start no business because I'm going to fail in it. I can't get no woman. I can't get no man. I can't do this, whatever, because it's not for me. I'm not successful like that. I can't get up and speak. I can't speak in front of a crowd. That's why I'm afraid. Where has been the evil had I not existed? He says, good is thy power. Good is thy power. Your power is good.
Yeah.
Good is thy power. Your power is good. Your power is good. If you want power,